What is up, guys? EJ here, aka PuckBond007, and welcome to the Movie Reviewers 100, the greatest collaboration channel here on YouTube that I am proud to be a part of. So normally I do reviews on Saturdays, but this past weekend I was wrapped up in Tiger Gate and the Masters. In case you don't know, I'm a huge golf fan, and more specifically a huge Tiger Woods fan, so I was watching the Masters this weekend and didn't really have time to record my video on Saturday, so I wanted to do it later in the week. It's a good week because it's Western week, and more specifically it's non-Clint Eastwood Western week. I think if we were up to FORKERBALL, every week would be Clint Eastwood week. But it's given us a great chance to talk about some other great westerns that don't star Clint Eastwood. Alan started off the week with a great review of the 3:10 to Yuma remake, which is a very good modern western. Ray did a really good review of The Searchers, one of my favorite John Wayne westerns. Ian himself also picked a John Wayne film, The Cowboys, which I rewatched last year, a great movie. And yesterday James did a great video on High Noon, one of the best westerns of all time, one of my favorites, with Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly. So I'm also going to talk about a John Wayne film, and that is Hondo from 1953, directed by John Farrow. Apart from this film, his only other sort of major success was Wake Island from 1942, the first American film, I believe, made about World War II, which I also have on DVD. Hondo actually is it was the first Western John Wayne starred in 3 years, and it came at a time when Hollywood was trying to get people away from their television sets and back into the theaters, and it was sort of at the end of the 3D craze in the early 50s. So there's still lots of sort of 3D shots in this film. So it was aimed at 3D audiences at the time. The film's about a woman and her son who are alone on a ranch in the middle of Apache country, who are sort of at war with the white folk. John Wayne plays Hondo Lane, a former U.S. cavalryman who comes across this ranch and this woman and her son, and sort of decides that he's going to protect them. The woman is played by Geraldine Page. It was her first starring film role. She went on to be nominated for an Oscar for this performance, her first of 8, which I was surprised to know. Very good actress, obviously, with 8 Oscar nominations, and this was her first. So John Wayne comes along this ranch and finds this woman, and he knows that the Apaches are about, and he says he's going to protect them in the absence of her husband. Her husband has been missing for quite some time, presumably dead. She doesn't want to believe that, but John Wayne thinks that. So from there, John Wayne actually eventually catches up, runs into her husband in the local town, and things sort of go sour from there. And it's a very interesting film in the way that it deals with the Apaches. John Wayne used to live, Hondo used to live with the Apaches. He had a squaw wife, as it's called, and so he has a good relationship with them, but at one point he kills a couple of them, and he's chased by them and captured by them, and almost gets executed, basically. And the film ends with a great sort of Apache white shootout, all these wagons, circling wagons, fending off all these Apaches on the horses. Probably my favorite scene in the film is one day the little boy, he's learning to fish by the house or by the ranch, and John Wayne tells him you should always fish on the bank facing the sun, so that way the fish don't see your shadow over the water. So he says you should go to the other side of the river, and the boy says he can't swim, so John Wayne just picks him up by the scruff of the neck and flings him into the water, and he sort of paddles his way across to the other side, and his mom sort of comes running over. He can't swim, he can't swim. But in the end the boy makes it over, and then she asks Hondo, how's he gonna make it back? And he's all, swim! He's gonna swim back. And she says, well, what if he doesn't make it? Well, you go in there after him and help him. And she's all, I can't swim either. And he like looks at her like he's gonna throw her in the water as well, and she gives him this look like, you better dare not, and she just runs in the other direction. It's a really great moment, probably my favorite scene in the film. So yeah, it's one of John Wayne's most well-known westerns and well-known performances. He also is accompanied by a trusty dog named Sam. It's a good film about the Apaches. It deals with Indian tribes in a lot more favorable light than previous westerns obviously did. So it was sort of a change in the genre in that respect. There's a great introduction by Lennon Moulton prior to the start of the film, where I got quite a bit of the info in this video. And if you get a chance to see Hondo and you're a big John Wayne fan, highly recommend it. So that's my review for the week. Sorry it's a bit late, and I'm sorry, Dino, that this is your day. But I wasn't sure if you're going to do a video or not, and hopefully I'm not imposing on his time slot, as it were. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see you.
Bom.